Hello friends, how are you all? My name is Manish Mittal and I am back with your weekly dose of current affairs. So in this video, we will be discussing the current affairs for first week of April. And apart from April Fool, there were so many other important days that were celebrated. There were so many people who were in news. There were so many events that took place. Apparently a lot is happening in the world right now because after 2 years, the COVID-19 is at its ebb, is it at its lowest. So many of you would have noticed that the schools have started functioning again, right? So the point is, so many activities are back on track. So we also are experiencing the same. We all are also witnessing the same. So there are so many things that are happening. So many appointments have been done, festivals being taking place, sports activities have again started taking place at the normal pace. So we will have a look at all the important events from the last week in this video. Let's get started. Let's see what all we have to discuss here. So Andhra Pradesh has become the first state to have she auto stands. She auto stands. Basically, we will see what this is. It's just, I'm going to tell you that it's a women empowerment initiative, or to make women feel secure. This is an initiative. Then the National Maritime Day was celebrated in the first week of April. We will see when this day is celebrated and what is the importance. What is Maritime Day? Is it different from Navy Day? So what is it actually? There are persons who have been in news quite a lot in the last week. Viktor Orban. We will see which important position in Europe has this person occupied yet again. Arunab Ghosh, Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey and Vinay Mohan Quatra. These are the people who are going to call the shots for the next few years at the national and international level. We will see why these people are in news one by one. Then Ganga Festival has been celebrated in a state of India. We will see which state. It could be any, right? Because India is, it's like a melting pot of civilization. It has so many ethnicities, regions, so many festivals being celebrated. So we will see where this festival is celebrated. President Ramnath Kovind has visited Amsterdam and Uzbekistan. So we will see his two-nation visit and if any significant point from exam point of view, that also we will try to cover. Richest self-made women in the world 2022. Now when this list, I read this news about this list, I was actually intrigued because generally you see the lists like richest women in the world or richest men in the world, but this word self-made was a kind of surprise to me. I've never seen a list like this. So now apparently the global organizations or publishings, they have started publishing lists having self-made women, self-made richest women, self-made richest men. So that I think is a welcome initiative. It shows that you haven't inherited the riches from your parents or from some organization. Rather, it's you have made yourself, whether you're a man or a woman. So this list we will see how many women are there on the list, how many Indian women are there on the list. World Health Day was celebrated 2022. Forbes billionaires list was released. Saraswati Salman 2021 was given away, a very important literary award of India. Yoga Mahotsav has been launched. We will see where Yoga Mahotsav has been launched because it's still about two and a half months for the International Yoga Day to take place. International Yoga Day is on 21st of June. So why is Yoga Mahotsav being held now? We will see. And ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. Had it been ICC Men's Cricket World Cup, everyone would have known who is the winner. You must have watched probably all the matches. You would know who is the man of the tournament, man of the match. Every single fact would be remembered by a majority of Indians. But the irony is that nobody knows about the Women's Cricket World Cup, although it's the largest event in the world in women's cricket. So do you know, ask yourself, do you know who or which team has won the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup? Chances are you would not know the answer. So we will try to find out, and we will also see where Indian women cricketers stand in this tournament. Let's start one by one discussing all these news. First, Andhra Pradesh's first she auto has been set up. So Andhra Pradesh's first She Auto. Now She Auto is basically, why has this initiative been launched? Because women feel unsafe traveling in autos. There are instances of eve teasing, there have been instances of rapes, molestations. So now what Andhra Pradesh has done is to provide safe transport to women and girl students. The police have set up She Auto stands. So what will happen in there? In the She Auto stands, there are autos, as you can see over here. She Auto stand, this is like a banner in front of such an auto stand, where women auto drivers will be there and preference will be given to women to ride in those autos, right? So these will be dedicated auto stands where a woman can find a woman auto driver and she can feel safe traveling at odd hours probably. So 3 She Auto stands have been set up in Tirupati, and with this, Tirupati has become the first city in the state to set up these auto stands for women. So Tirupati is in news because it is the first city not only in Andhra Pradesh but in India that has set up this type of auto stands. Next, National Maritime Day 2022. Now what is Maritime Day? We celebrate Navy Day separately. So Navy is like an armed force. We treat that differently. Maritime Day is primarily for the navigation, the sea-based navigation. So the National Maritime Day is observed in India on the 5th of April every year. And this was the 59th edition of the National Maritime Day. The theme this year was Sustainable Shipping Beyond COVID-19. So this theme says it all. Beyond COVID-19, that means perhaps the world is now out of the shadows of COVID-19 and we should start thinking towards shipping beyond COVID-19, and that too sustainable shipping. Now what is the meaning of sustainable here? It can be taken in 2 contexts. It can be environmentally sustainable, like we use cleaner fuels for running the ships, we reduce the carbon footprint in shipping, etc. The second thing could be that we do not overtly depend on other countries for imports and exports. It's not anti-globalization. It's like we should stop wasteful expenditure and wasteful carbon generation, and those products and services that we can avail in our own country, preference should be given to that, and unnecessarily imports and exports should be stopped so that the global supply chains, if they get disrupted, they should not have a severe impact as it did in 2020. So this is the theme. So National Maritime Day is basically dedicated towards the sea lanes of communication, international trade, import and export, which majorly happens through the sea. So that is why we celebrate National Maritime Day in India. Viktor Orban. The first prominent personality in news this week is Mr. Viktor Orban. So this person here has been elected as the Prime Minister of Hungary. And East Europe is making a lot of news nowadays because of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. So Mr. Viktor Orban has become the Prime Minister of Hungary for the 4th time in a row. So for the 4th time in a row, he has been elected as the Prime Minister of Hungary. And his party is Fidesz party. And he has secured 53.1% of the votes, which is a majority, of course. So he is the longest serving head of government in the European Union. So among all the countries of the European Union, Mr. Viktor Orban has the longest serving tenure as the head of a state. So that is impressive. So there are 3 facts that you should remember. Also, the capital of Hungary is Budapest. So Budapest is the capital of Hungary, and Mr. Viktor Orban is the new Prime Minister. Next person in news is Mr. Arunab Ghosh. So this is a matter of honor for India that a person of India has been selected by UN Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres to head a high-level expert group on the net zero emissions commitments of non-state entities. So under the climate change treaties, many countries have given their commitments that they will become net zero, they will even out their carbon emissions, that their net emissions will be zero. India has also announced that by 2070 India will have net zero emissions. That means the total carbon dioxide that we will emit will be equivalent to the total carbon dioxide that we will consume by way of afforestation, by way of carbon sinks, or through any other way. So by 2070, India has committed that it will be carbon neutral, net carbon emission. And this similar type of commitments have been made by several countries. So there is an expert group that has been set up, and Mr. Arunab Ghosh has been nominated on that group by the UN Secretary General. So who is Arunab Ghosh? He is the CEO of the Council on Energy, Environment and Water, CEEW, which is a climate and energy think tank. See, there are a lot of NGOs, civil society organizations, think tanks that are working to reverse climate change, because climate change is showing its impact really, really bad. You must have noticed we are in the first week of April, and the last month, that is the month of March 2022, was the hottest year on record in the last 122 years. So in last more than a century, this March has been the hottest. And the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change of India in the Parliament has given this statement about 2 days back, that the reason for that heat, the reason was global warming. So that is an alarm for us. So it is now official statement from the government that the reason for March being so hot and deficit in rainfall was global warming. So we should be alarmed at this. And so many think tanks are working to reverse that. One of those is CEEW, and it is headed by Mr. Arunab Ghosh. So he's an environmentalist, that means. Now he has been appointed to the Government of India's G20 Finance Track Advisory Group for India's G20 presidency in 2023. So apparently Mr. Ghosh heads a lot of committees and think tanks, and next year India is going to host the G20 summit. So Mr. Arunab Ghosh has also been appointed as on the G20 Finance Track Advisory Group on behalf of India. So again an honor. And in fact he was also appointed as the co-chair of T20 Task Force on Climate and Energy for Indonesia's G20 in 2022. So many different designations. That means he's such a capable person. So his name is what you need to remember in this context. Next important person in news this week was Lieutenant General Manoj Pandey. So right now, the Army General of India, or the Chief of Army Staff as we call him, is General M.M. Narvane, or General Manoj Mukund Narvane. So Mr. Narvane's tenure is about to end, and after him Mr. Manoj Pandey is set to become the Chief of Army Staff. So he is going to be the next Army Chief of India, most likely. It is not the official word yet, but in terms of seniority, he is. So being the senior most in the office after General Narvane, Lieutenant General Pandey is touted to be the next Army Chief. So if we talk about the armed forces, General is the highest position, then comes Lieutenant General, then comes Major General, then comes Brigadier, then Colonel, and so on. So in this way there are different designations. You need to know these ones. So General is the topmost, then Lieutenant General, then Major General, and it is always a Lieutenant General who is promoted as a General. Next, another person in news is Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra. So Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra is an Indian Foreign Service officer, and he has a rich experience for the last more than 3 decades, and he is selected by the government as the next Foreign Secretary of India. So he is going to be the new Foreign Secretary of India, and the current incumbent, Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, is going to retire on 30th of April 2022. So Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra has been announced to be the next Foreign Secretary, and it is the highest designation in the External Affairs Ministry, just below the Minister for External Affairs. And right now the Minister for External Affairs is Dr. S. Jaishankar. So Dr. S. Jaishankar is right now the Minister for External Affairs, and Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra is going to assist him as the Foreign Secretary of India. Next, Gangaur Festival or Gangaur Festival is an important festival in the state of Rajasthan. So as you can see over here, this image depicts the Gangaur Festival. So the Gangaur Festival is celebrated in Rajasthan and some parts of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and West Bengal as well. There are various festivals in India which are not confined to a specific state, but they are spread over various states. So one such festival is Gangaur Festival, still dominantly celebrated in Rajasthan. And the women on this festival worship Gauri, who was the wife of Lord Shiva. And this festival celebrates the harvest, spring, childbearing and marital fidelity. So it is associated with harvest, fidelity, fertilization, fertility, etc. So Gangaur Festival of Rajasthan. President Ramnath Kovind has visited two states or two countries, so to say, one being Amsterdam. So Amsterdam is in Europe, right? And second was Turkmenistan, which is in Central Asia. So President Kovind has visited these two places, and specifically, if you look at this picture over here, so there is a yellow tulip variety in Amsterdam, which has been named Maitri. So it's like a goodwill gesture that if a head of state visits a country and names a flower or a wildlife species again, after something. So Maitri means friendship. So it's like India, Amsterdam, Maitri or friendship. That's what it means. Next, Hurun Richest Self-Made Women in the World 2022. So this list celebrates the women who are self-made richest women in the world. So this has 124 women in there who are billionaires. That means whose wealth is above $1 billion. In terms of Indian currency, it would be, if we presume US dollar to be of 75 rupees, it's 7,500 crore rupees. It's 7,500 crore rupees, which is $1 billion. So there are 124 women in the world who are billionaires, self-made billionaires apparently, and the maximum number of billionaires is in China. So out of 124, 78 women billionaires are in China alone, followed by United States with 25 and United Kingdom with 5. So how many Indian women are there? There are 3 Indian women who are self-made billionaires. First, let's see the top 3 on the list. Wu Yajun, who is the founder of Longfor, then Fan Hongwei, who is the president of Hengli Petrochemicals, and Wang Laichun of Luxshare Precision Industry. So all 3 are Chinese women, of course. Let's see who are the Indian women on the list, which is a very important question from the examination point of view. So the first Indian woman on the list is Falguni Nayar. Falguni Nayar has made a lot of news in the last few months because she is the first woman in India to have a unicorn, whose startup has become a unicorn. And a unicorn is a business whose market capitalization or whose valuation is above $1 billion. So she is heading Nykaa. You must have heard the name Nykaa. So Nykaa is I think apparel brand, and she is the founder and chief executive officer of Nykaa, and her wealth is $7.6 billion, and she's ranked 10th on the list. So there are total 3 women, and she is the only one in the top 10. Second is Radha Vembu, who is the co-founder of Zoho. So she's the co-founder of Zoho, and she is 25th on the list, and her wealth is $3.9 billion. The third woman on the list is Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. She is the executive chairperson and founder of Biocon, and she is 26th on the list with $3.8 billion. So Falguni Nayar, Radha Vembu and Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw are 3 Indian women on the list of Hurun richest self-made women. That's an impressive feat for India to begin with. Next is the World Health Day. So in the last 2 years, we have learned the hard way the importance of health, and now we have started taking World Health Day a bit more seriously. So World Health Awareness Day is celebrated on the 7th of April, which is today, and it focuses on contemporary health issues that require immediate attention. On the World Health Day 2022, it is celebrated by World Health Organization first of all. So the agency that is the nodal agency for celebrating this day is the World Health Organization, and this year the theme is Our Planet, Our Health. So again, you will see the theme of sustainability, the theme of environmental protection somewhere intertwined in there. So Our Planet, Our Health is the theme of this year. That means if we save our planet, then we save our health, because planet is the only place where human beings can live. I've seen many, in the last few days, I have seen a lot of biodegradable envelopes or biodegradable carry bags on which it is written, there is no planet B. So I found it really intriguing, because those are made up of biodegradable material. That means they are climate friendly, and there is written no, there is no planet B. So that means they're giving a message that we should stop non-biodegradable waste like plastics, and we should adopt such type of carry bags because there is no planet B, so we should save the environment. So I found it really nice. Next, so just like Hurun has come out with the richest self-made women list, there is Forbes list that comes out every year, not gender based, but it's like gender neutral, like gives out the richest people in the world. So it is the most authentic list. So the Forbes Billionaires 2022 list has come out. Let's see the top 10 positions and the companies those people are heading. That is really important. The first position this time is taken by Mr. Elon Musk, who is the founder of Tesla. So Tesla and SpaceX is owned by Mr. Elon Musk. Second position, Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon. Third position by Bernard Arnault, who is the founder of Louis Vuitton. So Louis Vuitton is a luxury brand of apparel and so many other things. Then Mr. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, is at number 4. Mr. Warren Buffett, the world's topmost investor, the owner of Berkshire Hathaway investment firm, is at number 5. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, both the founders of Google, are at number 6 and number 7. Larry Ellison of Oracle is at number 8. Steve Ballmer of Microsoft, so co-founder of Microsoft, again at number 9. And Mukesh Ambani, who is an Indian, of RIL, Reliance Industries Limited, is at number 10. So there's one Indian on the list. And if you look at the US, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there is one person from France, who is Mr. Bernard Arnault of Louis Vuitton, and then there is Mr. Mukesh Ambani of India, who are in the top 10. Other than that, 8 people out of the 10 richest people in the world are Americans. Right, so this is the list, and some of the names are important to remember. For example, you should know that Mukesh Ambani is at number 10. Moving forward, the Saraswati Samman 2021. So this is one of the most prestigious literary awards given in India, and this award can be given to any person who has written in, not any person, it should be an Indian citizen, and he should have written something in an Indian language. So this prize or this award, Saraswati Samman for 2021, has been given to Professor Ram Darash Mishra. Professor Ram Darash Mishra is the winner of Saraswati Samman 2021 for his collection of poems, Main To Yahan Hoon. Main To Yahan Hoon in Hindi is his collection of poems, and this award is given by the K.K. Birla Foundation. So it's not given by the government of India, it's given by the K.K. Birla Foundation. And this award was instituted in 1991, and it is given every year to an outstanding literary work written in any Indian language, by an Indian citizen. So these are the two criteria, and third, within the last 10 years, so that not every work which has ever been written becomes eligible for this. That is why. So Mr. Ramdarsh Mishra, Professor Ramdarsh Mishra is the winner of this year's Saraswati Samman. Next, Yoga Mahotsav. So Yoga Day or International Yoga Day is going to be celebrated on 21st of June. 75 days before that, 75 days, because 75 is a theme this year. This year is the 75th year of Indian independence. From 1947 to 2022, India has completed 75 years of its independence, and it is a theme that is running in all the schemes of the government. 75 years Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Right? So 75 years Platinum Jubilee celebrations of Indian independence. So 75 days before the actual International Yoga Day, on the occasion of World Health Day on 7th of April. And the 75th day of the countdown to International Day of Yoga, which is going to be celebrated on 21st of June. So 75th day of countdown of the International Day of Yoga. So this Yoga Mahotsav has been organized in Red Fort in Delhi. So in Red Fort this is being organized, and the chief guest of this program was Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. So you should understand, International Day of Yoga 21st of June, National World Health Day on 7th of April, and 75 days of countdown. So this is the logic that you should keep in mind. And finally, last but not the least important news of this video is ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. So just look at these women over there. These are the Australian women's cricket team, and they are of course the champions of 2022 ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. So they have beaten England to become the champions. Australia has beaten England in the finals to achieve their World Cup, and the venue of this World Cup was New Zealand. So that you should remember, the venue of the World Cup was New Zealand. And let's see some impressive awards given away at the World Cups, which also includes Indian players. The most successful team was the Australian team. The player of the match in the final was Alyssa Healy, right? The player of the tournament was Alyssa Healy. Most runs of all time was by Debbie Hockley, who plays for New Zealand. So these names are important, player of the tournament, most runs of all time. Then leading wicket taker in the tournament, Sophie Ecclestone of England. And this is the most important award, the last one, most wickets of all time, is to Jhulan Goswami of India. So this is a record that has been made by an Indian woman cricketer, Ms. Jhulan Goswami. So some of these you should try to remember, because these are fodder for the exams, right? So that is all we have for the first week of April. I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked the information that we shared in here. So this is our initiative, so that you can get the compilation of the most important news of the week, that if you miss, you actually miss something from examination point of view. And even if you're not preparing for any exam, it's always good to be up to date with what is happening in sports, in nation, at the international level, etc. So this is our initiative to make you aware, and if you are preparing for an exam, this is our initiative to reduce your effort, so that if you watch these videos, you can revise it on a weekly basis. If you have any suggestions, please let us know in the comment section. You can check in the description, there are links given to our website on which you will find a lot more such news, and you can log in there and you can avail many of the free resources that are available on our website. That is all. My name is Manish Mittal, signing off. Thank you.